try to do is just to present ourselves. I'm here with Andres, and I would like to remind that the workshop is beginning on October, and this is like an introductory session. So we still
terms, which for me is a kind of mystery because I'm a virtual analphabet, literally. So I always will have Francesco, Nevi, or Uska supporting me. So what about if we do a little round and we introduce ourselves? Trying to see so many faces, apparently from so many different places. So why don't you start? Shall we start with Eva, maybe, which is in the side of my line. Down in the bottom of the page. So Eva.
Eva, you have to turn on your microphone.
Sorry. I'm connecting from Valencia, Spain. I'm architect and I work at Polytechnic University of Valencia. I teach in the architectural department of projects. And I'm interested in this experience because it's a new way of looking at the way architects work and people work in the city. And I was born in the Canary Islands, and I usually travel to Germany to work too. And if you want to ask something to me, of course I will answer you.
Okay.
Turn your microphone off.
Okay, Turkey, could you turn your microphone off, please? So Christian, could you go on?
Yes. I am from Norway. I have my education from Bergen School of Architecture. I finished there with diploma 3 years ago. And for the 2 last years, I've been working at an office in Bergen called 3RW Architects, working mainly with planning. It's a lot of different plan assessments and tasks for municipalities and also the government, like regional planning. And I'm also very interested in, therefore, to have this kind of experience, both more public planning, but also the way it's been realized through online and internet workshops. So both the content and also the methods I'm interested in.
We can hear you that you are not alone.
No, I have my baby here. Yeah. So.
Okay, Rosanna?
Hi, can you hear me? Hi.
Yes, we can hear you, Rosanna.
Okay, finally. Okay, I'm Rosana Garcia. I'm from Venezuela. I live in Maracaibo. This city is on northwest in Venezuela. It's the second city most important in my country. I'm an architect, and I have a master's degree in urban studies in Mediterranean regions. I did a master two years ago in Seville, France, and Portugal, and I'm really happy for participate in this workshop because I think it's really important to participation or people participation between architects, between designers, and public in general. This is my impression, and I'm really nice to meet Mr. Walliser. I have really curious for now.
I'm not a mister. I'm Andres.
For now. Okay, Andres.
Okay, thank you very much, Rosanna. We're covering so far. We're covering north, south, and something in the middle, which is Valencia. Well, and of course we have a little bit further north, which is Norway. So we're covering a big extension of different ways of using and thinking the city and public spaces too. So shall we give voice to our bunch of colleagues up there in Limerick?
Hi everyone. As I said, I'm Javier. I'm from Spain and teaching here in Limerick. Limerick has a city in the west of Ireland. Down there is Jan, another lecturer of the school. He's from Germany and teaching here. And then we have our two exchange students. Can
you turn a bit the computer so we can see all of your faces? We really can see some hands. Okay, you're 6. Okay, great, terrific.
So we have Helena, and Borja, and then Ron and Bien from here, from Limerick. So 2 exchange students and 2 students from Limerick.
Yeah. Your colleague in the back with the glasses and
from Germany.
Okay, I missed that. Okay, fine. So you're 1 German, 1 Spanish, 2 Irish, and
2 Serbians.
Okay, sorry, we missed that part. Wow, interesting. Are you going to follow as a group the whole sessions?
4 of us will do. We have to check the schedule, but well, there are like 2 guests and 4 that will follow the workshop.
Okay, fantastic.
Javier, I have one question for you. If I understand, you are following both workshops, aren't you?
Yeah.
Okay, great. Just to make it clear, if you need, for the moment, I just created one account for you as a group. I send it to you the username and the password. But if you need more accounts for publishing contents on the website, just tell me and I can do that. Okay.
We will discuss that tomorrow, and I will let you know.
Okay, perfect.
Okay, thank you. So Hazam. To their own under their own interests. So a lot has to do, not only, but a lot has to do with recognition of public spaces and to rethink the city in the key of the neighbors or the citizens. Okay, and then I have been working with Ecosistema Urbano for the last 5 years. We have been doing together planning, like hardcore planning in Madrid, with a lot of emphasis in public space and in participation. So I feel quite comfortable in terms of analyzing public space, but I think it's going to be, whatever I can say, is going to be very, very enriching if we work together in terms from a more technical analysis of the space. That is what you probably might brought, and of course the experience on each country you're coming from, of the use of the space, but not only the use by like the sort of the normal use of the space, but also the economic meaning of space, the political meaning of space, the dimensions of a space, of public space, in terms of socialization, of social interaction, of even security, so on and so forth. Okay, so I think we are going to have a very exciting exchange around.
No, just, well, first I would like to say that the most important person here is Andres. I'm here just to help him. And if I can help you with technology stuff, with the website, every one of you is going to be a user of the blog of Public Space and People. So I don't know if you are if you know how to post the contents on WordPress. So if you don't, I can help you. If you want to share contents with other participants, you can just email me, and I will upload on the website. And just to quickly present myself, I am an architect, even if I'm not building. Usually, my work is not about buildings. Here in Ecosystem Urbano for Dreamhammer, I am mainly covering three area of tasks. Well, I made the graphic design, then I'm in charge of the digital coordination of online workshops of the digital layer, and I also worked on methodology. I don't know if you heard or if you've read about network design on the blog. I invite you to search for network design on dreamhammer.org and read and comment the text about network design. Network design is a like a methodology alternative to traditional participation. I hope we can discuss it later with Andres. And so I would really like to have your comments about that. Just quickly, the main idea is about before designing a public space, we think that it's very important to build a network around the space, and that's what we are doing today. For instance, we are building an international network. And there in Hamar, in Norway, we are working on the same construction of a local network with citizens, and we think that this network is very important for the design of the public space. So there is a text on the blog where I try to explain this, but well, it's like a draft, and I would really like to have your comments about that. And I hope, even if you need references, I think me and Andres, we can give you. Yeah. I already sent to Javier, and I can share with others your experience kit about the online course we made in February about sustainable regeneration of city center. So, okay, I don't know if someone else. Questions?
Yeah, I was going to ask before. I'm sorry, Francesco, that I skipped you. What are your expectations? What is your experience? Let's go like a little round. What is your experience with public space in the places where you live? Are public spaces something friendly, attractive? Do you think there are positive interactions? Are there maybe places that nobody looks at too much? What is your first impression, just the first round of first impression about public spaces in very different environments as we are coming from?
Maybe we can...
Eva, go.
Oh, okay. Here in Valencia, we enjoy a very perfect weather nearly all the year long. And public space is very important. Quite in the city of Valencia, and the place where I live, there is a small village near Valencia. We as architects, we also work with public space. We have been working in a small village near Valencia on that issue. And of course, we teach about the importance of relate the architecture project to the city on the place where you work, because when I finished my studies, we married and we had children. We saw that we really do not know who the city belongs to. for which person the city is designed. And the problems you have as an architect at university are very different from the problems you have as a person who goes with a baby in your sidewalk to work, or to the primary school before going to work, on many problems that normally are attended in gender topics, but finally should be problems of everywhere or everyone in the city. So I expect from this workshop noticing if something is changing in the minds of the person which work at university or in the cities with the problems of people, because it's very different doing things for magazines or reviews or doing things for people. So when I first realized of this workshop and of this work, I was impressed because maybe something is changing. I expect something to change.
Thank you. I think you raised very critical issues. Sort of draw like basically the backbone of this experience we're going to share, which is basically to look at the public space with an integrated approach from multiple disciplines. I cannot agree more than you when you as an architect say, look, we design spaces, but we don't confront users, which is sort of a classic. And I think that's very right, and that's the thing that we're going to tackle. We're going to try to tackle public space from different disciplines and different ways of understanding public space regarding different functions, different things that go on in public spaces. Okay, who wants to go next? Marisa, you go next?
It's me? Yeah?
Oh, you, okay, fine. Christian.
Okay, yeah. For relating it to the Norwegian context, in Norway it's a big contrast through the year with different seasons. So in the winter time it's very different climatic conditions, and in the last 15 years, 20 years, it has been this big growth of big supermercados close to city centers, and they appear more attractive because they can offer in wintertime very nice indoor climatic condition. And after this, there's been a lot of discussion in Norway about public space because like these supermercados, there seems to be public space, that they are owned by private. It's a private space that imitates public space. It has a lot of these same codings, the same elements, furniture's way of the same scale, the same way of building up the code of the public space, but it's owned and run by private. And what is important is, of course, is a different type of logic behind. It's economic motivated, and it's also about control. It's closing at a certain time, and it's also the owners can, if they want, they can also make some people leave by how about to say, by force or by will, because it's.
Sorry, Christian, you're talking about, because I miss a little gap. You're talking about malls and trade.
Yeah, malls or supermercados. Yeah, malls. Yeah.
Okay, supermercados. Okay.
Yeah, because these are, as I said, like imitating the public space, and but the important is that they are appearing as public, open to all, but they are actually. There's a very different logic behind how it's been run and driven, and also if it's like a different set of rules behind, and if you break the rules, there's a different kind of reaction. So and this also touches issues like like class, because many of these malls maybe are intended to be maybe for the middle class mostly, for the groups that have the most resources to go shopping, etc. But mostly this is about economic and control issues of control.
Do you have a lot of of malls, of these private public spaces in Norway?
It was a big growth, a big development of this kind of malls. Started maybe 15 years ago in Norway, and there's been a big discussion about this. And actually, it also came a new legislation, new law from the government some years ago that tried also to make this growth of malls or public or supermercados. They're not allowed to settle if they have a certain size or certain distance to the city center, etc. But because of the winter time climate with snow, etc., and cold, it's been very much interest and very big, very popular to try to establish this new kind of malls. And in Norway, this is really a big challenge how to balance this between the, I would say, traditional public space.
Okay, quite interesting, because you just introduced this notion of private and public, which in some countries it is a real issue, like in Spain, in which we have developed a whole model of city, which basically lives around one of these malls, and it has become it has occupied the functions of traditional public space in terms of socializing, interaction, a bit what we expect to see in the films or in the American films about the role of malls in suburbia. This is coming to Spain with other typologies, but Javier probably would feel familiar to these big developments in Madrid, in Sevilla, in Valladolid, in Valencia, etc. Okay, so Rosana, what is your experience about this?
Okay. Well, I have only for the moment an academic experience when I did the master. Specifically, I have a workshop in France where my group and I have an opportunity to talk with the community and try to know her requirements for space. But I try to compare the public space in Europe and public space in Venezuela. It's really different, because public space in Venezuela, in my opinion, don't exist, because Venezuela in the last years is really insecurity for walk in the street, for anything. I try to define a public space in my country. It's a big mall with air conditioner, and people try to meet inside. But my expectation with this course is try to learn to combine participation and design. Could be it's possible to do.
Okay, I think you also we've seen different things. We've seen so far the difference between designers and users. We have very directly tackled the issue of private public space, or privatized public space, which is the case for not only Norway, Venezuela, Spain, etc. And you raised the issue of security too, which is one of the keys of public spaces. And it is interesting because there are some. It seems that when an area is there's this feeling or this perception of insecurity, which is probably objective. Sometimes we think that this is not it's something that is not going to change, something that is not that once a given space is unsecure and is taken by groups of any kind, and it's people that might go there to play or to walk around are out. The feeling is that this is not possible, and of course it is through community work and through policies which not necessarily are control or security policies, but more community policies, that public spaces can be retaken. And I think a good example might be Medellin in the environment of Latin America, in Colombia, which only 7, 8 years ago it was a terribly dangerous city with a very, very bad reputation of insecurity, of crime. And now people hang out in the parks until late at night, and really nothing happens. So there's hope, there's chance, and there's a lot of ways of exploring public spaces and the recovering of public spaces.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you, Rosanna. What about the Limerick contingent?
Okay, Jan Rogut is going to talk.
Yeah. We were looking at suburbia earlier today. One of our foreign exchange students expressed his surprise that he couldn't find a public square in the sense that he would expect from southern Europe, somewhere here in Ireland. Ireland has a very low density, in many parts very rural. And there's a strong emphasis on private space, on privacy, and people tend to contain themselves very much in their houses. At the same time, the Irish have great capacity for public space happen when they wanted to, just social interaction, and it doesn't necessarily depend on an architectural setting for this to take place. I think that's an observation that I've made here. And weather was mentioned earlier about Valencia. Of course, the potential for public interaction very much depends on weather. Weather isn't too great in Ireland, but the Irish are very, very spontaneous and about, again, adapting to those situations and, again, turning any opportunity into a public gathering if they wanted to.
How to say? Your speech was cut a little bit, or we have some little gaps in the speech. But as far as I understand, you were basically saying how important is not only design but also activity, action, and what is going on in public spaces from the people's side, of the use of it. I think this matches with what we've been looking at before. So anything, you want to add something up there? You're a bunch, you have the right of some more time. What else do you want to add to Jan's have mentioned now?
Maybe, I don't know, Javier, would you like to add something, or a student from there?
Or maybe some of your Serbian colleagues, that might be interesting, or your experience as a Spanish citizen in
Yeah.
Hello, I'm from Serbia, from Novi Sad, and in our country there are lots of public spaces, but they're apart. They're part, like Novi Sad, there's the Danube, they're just created as public space. But from the center of the city, where there's about 3 to 4 main squares, that's the main public space, and there's no connection of it. Only a huge park that is a gap from the space. You need about 20-30 minutes to make a connection. So that's really bad. But there's no problem in how do you say gathering people anywhere. You just put some benches and people will show up. So that's a great part of that town or the whole country. So that's that.
Javier, you want to ask something?
Yeah, well, in my case, I live in for years. I'm from Cuba. It's a kind of it's a complete different setting than. Can you hear me? No.
We can hear you, but I miss like parts of the word, so I don't know where you're from. You know. So I'm sorry, but I just it's very frustrating because I get most of what you're saying, but I can't really follow 100%.
Are you with a wireless connection?
No, we have a wired connection.
Okay, so I don't know.
Well, anyway, I'm from Córdoba, and I've been living here for 4 years, and then I moved back to Córdoba. So my experience is on Jans. Jans is still living here, but he's from Berlin. So we are from very dense environments, and now we live or we are experiencing Limerick, which is a kind of complete different landscape. It's very low dense rural landscape. Is this kind of weather is against social gathering. So as Jan was saying, it's more about informal connections rather than formal public spaces, which is completely different than the main square in Cordoba or any Mediterranean cities. So yes, it's a big difference. That goes, for example, when many architects come to Dublin and to Ireland to show their projects, they always feel that there is a missing piece. This main public space where people, does things like sport victories and things like that. For example, it's very noticing that in Dublin there is no Christmas, the end of the year gathering, which is so popular in Spain. No? You go to the main square and you celebrate the end of the year. There is no actually a space where people know that if they go there, something, there is going to be a bunch of people celebrating the end of the year. So there are difference, but at the same time, I think Spain, Irish and Spanish share a lot of. I don't know if because religion but we share a kind of a same spirit, even if we are from different. Thousands of kilometers far away, there is something that we share in terms of this kind of a joyful gathering and enjoying space when we can.
So yes, summing up, we really have. Hassam, are you there? Hassam, are you there? No.
Yeah. Yes, I am.
Okay, yeah. Sorry, I saw you connecting and disconnecting, and I was not sure you were there. So, what is your experience in Egypt? Just
okay, I didn't hear your last word because my connection failed. But
yeah, what is your? We're talking each of us about a bit more our perception about public spaces, and we're raising some key issues about public spaces, mostly in each one's country. So we talk about the influence, the impact of design over the users. We talk about the private public spaces like malls and big shopping areas. We talk about insecurity and public spaces which are not feeling safe. We talk about the interaction that takes place in public spaces and that give public space an identity and meaning, even if it's informal. So what is your perception of public space as an Egyptian or as an architect?
Yes, okay. I'm give you from 3 years, some architects made in Egypt an experiment about public spaces. They put kind of an enclosure of cardboard in a public space, in a public street, okay, and no one tried to even change this cardboard or change this space, okay, or even use it. People were just walking. Now it's kind of different. It's
what's a cardboard? I didn't get you.
Cardboard, some material which is easy to change, to move.
Okay, cardboard. Okay.
Okay. Now it's whole different because people, just like the Serbian one said, you just have 2 benches. People will be there. Now it's graffiti all over the place. It's even under the bridges. People use any space to express their feelings, their political issues, their anything they want. Actually, today I was in the Cairo Opera House. Erdogan, Prime Minister of Turkey, was going to give a speech there. People just gathered and make kind of ceremony people stood in rows to celebrate him and wait for him for hours and keep chanting for Egypt, Turkey, and Palestine on the gate, which he probably won't enter from it. Maybe he would enter from another gate, but they want to express their feelings. Okay, so expressing people ideas is very important. Second of all, in Egypt, the main issue is the weather. It's hot in the day, so it's always nightlife. Okay, nowadays it's different because it's political and kind of stuff. But when it's a cultural event, it's always at night. It's not at noon. I think it's the same in Norway. It's very cold, so I'm thinking of a place that is kind of dynamic, that can people change or can have shelter in the winter from the cold and can use the space and express themselves, and in the summer they can all enjoy the sun, and that's it.
Thank you. That was very, very interesting. You raised another wonderful topic, which is could be a bit the opposite of what Christian and Rosanna have mentioned. Is this, instead of privatizing public space, you've talked about reappropriating public space for people, and of course the case of Egypt is probably the most intense and dramatic of the last years, because we're talking about thousands of people, but also thousands of people that have managed to pull down a long-running autocracy. But also space appropriation, public space appropriation is something which is happening elsewhere. Probably Tunis and Egypt were the big first examples, but shortly after we had this amazing experience in Madrid in the 15th of May, the 15M, in which thousands of people were occupying Puerta del Sol, which is the center square in the city, in the capital city, for days and days and days. And a lot of people were staying there, but all the other thousands were just coming in and out and just meeting other people and getting into assemblies and discussing. It was kind of an improvised and unexpected school of democracy. So, and this is, what we're talking is about like big scale numbers of appropriation. But also I'm very interested in something which probably has to do with what Jan was mentioning and Javier was also mentioning, which is the micro phenomena of public space, the micro use of public space in different countries. And in this line, I'm very interested in these episodes or these experiences of appropriation of public space in a micro level. And I'm talking about when an empty plot in the city center or somewhere else, and people just start using it. It might be in a very informal way, kids playing football, or people using it as a little exchange spot, market, or even for parking, which is not a very social use, I have to say. But also it is, we have experiences here in Madrid of people, of residents appropriating public spaces and negotiating with the municipality to give them a social use and to have a kind of standard solid use a long time. And there's a bunch of these places in Madrid in very few time they have appeared, and maybe 5 years ago that this was unexpected. Okay, so I think we have raised a number of issues, and I haven't already modeled the course or the experience in a line, but I'm definitely going to introduce all these variables we have put in the table, because more or less coincide with what I was planning to do, but you have added elements and perspectives that I think should be looked at definitely. Francesco,
yes.
Say something.
We have 10 minutes left. I would invite you to, I don't know if someone has a question or a doubt about workshops, if it's clear how it's gonna work. Just if you have one question, just turn on your microphone. I remind that each week we will have 2 sessions. So for the workshop directed by Andres, Public Space and People, we will be together every Tuesday of October for a session like that at 6 p.m. Norway time. And every Wednesday we will have a more theoretical session. The first one, like an introduction, will be tomorrow. So I hope you will be with us tomorrow at 6 p.m. Norway time. It will be a little bit different. You will see just Andres' face, and you will be able to interact with him via the chat. So tomorrow we are not using Google Plus, but we are on live stream, so you can follow us via the digital lab, and you can answer a question or just commenting the session, okay? Let's say that tomorrow, the Wednesday session, will be more open where everyone can join us, okay? Instead of this one is like a more closed one, even if we are trying to broadcast this session in live stream. I'm not sure if we will be able to do that, but anyway, we invite you tomorrow at 6 p.m. to stay with us for the introductory session by Andres, and I would need by each of you for the next week if you can send me a short text about you or about a project you made for a public space or something you think could be coherent with the Dream Hammer, because it's very important that for each of you I publish something on the website. If you know how to use WordPress, I invite you to do by yourself. I will send you a username to enter the web. So if you are able, just do it. And if you need help, just send me an email at dreamhammer@gmail.com with your short text and one or more picture. It could be a picture of you or a picture of a project you think is interesting for us. Does anyone else want? Okay, hi Andres. I'm sending his email now.
Okay, thank you.
Okay.
I just want to. I'm sorry. I was asking Jan to give me his email because and it is open. I'm doing a project in Berlin for something else, and I need to get in touch with someone that knows a bit what's going on there. So I just grabbed him.
Yes.
Thank you.
I think I invite you also to the object. I mean, what we are trying to do here with this session is not just designing the new square of Hammer. We are also trying to establish connections. We already had experiences with Andres in February. The online courses, the online experiences worked very well to find connection between students, professionals. So if you have, if you need Andres for something, or if Andres need someone else, or if you just want to work together, I think it's a very a good opportunity to be here together. So just share your project and activities, and send me if you can for the next week. Send me a text about you or about your project, and with a picture, 2 picture or 3 picture. And for any question, just email me at dreamhammer@gmail.com. Does anyone, I mean, do you have any question, or everything is clear, or maybe nothing is clear? Okay, Andres is writing the Gmail address on chat. Everything is fine? Oh, okay.
We can see no reactions in your eye. Okay, now they're coming. Okay, fine. Okay, so shall we meet tomorrow? Is that all right? At the same time, same place, here in your office. It has been really nice meeting you, and I'm sure we're going to have a really exciting experience and very, very enriching for everyone. So looking forward to go on with this. Okay, see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Tenemos que hacer un saludo especial para estas cosas, que como poner así la cabeza, la mano, no sé cómo y tal. Saludo consistente.
Ok, bueno, ha ido bastante bien. Sí.
Pues es súper guapo, ¿no? ¿Y este le conocen, Javier?
Sí, bueno, de cámara. Chao, Javier. Me pregunta si lo conozco.
¿Me oyes? No.
Sí, no,
Se desconecta. ¿Cómo se desconecta esto, tío?
A
salir.